The Teach Life program wouldn't be possible without the generous support of Gift of Hope, Donate Life Illinois, Allosource, Eversight, the University of Chicago Medicine, Northwestern Medicine, and UNOS. Welcome to Discussing Donation. The groundwork of any nonprofit is really done at the grassroots level. When educating teens on the importance of organ donation, there are fewer advocates that can make an impact quite like a passionate high school science teacher. Kelly Pataki shares details on a curriculum program that explains the benefits of organ and tissue donation. Once again, here is Cindy Grobmeyer.
Thank you, Meredith, and thank you so much, Kelly, for joining us today. We've been working closely with Kelly on the Teach Life project, and we're really excited to get some of her background and insights, not only on what she has done in terms of organ and tissue donation and transplantation education, but what she's contributed to this project and hopes to do moving forward. So welcome, Kelly. Thanks for joining us and taking some time out of your busy schedule. Particularly this year for teachers, right?
It's been a crazy year, one for the books for sure.
Absolutely. So I know you've been a real champion in terms of organ and tissue donation and transplantation education at your high school. Can you tell us how you got started and what you've done with this topic over the years?
Absolutely. So it started in 2002. I can't believe it's already been almost 20 years that we've been offering we call it a freshman forum for our students at Hersey High School. We are able to take the information and basically disseminate it to all the freshmen at one time, which seemed to be really beneficial. So we began exploring the topic in, again, 2002, utilizing the Pass It On program, which was very nice for a beginning, somewhere for us to start from, that we were able to incorporate into our curriculum where it would fit very nicely and yet can be discussed and utilized in a variety of the other classes that the students were taking freshman year. So the curriculum that we used was typically one day. We would give them a pre-test, just seeing what they knew about organ and tissue donation. Then we would discuss general information. We would show a short video and we would have discussion questions that went along with that. And then oftentimes we also incorporated some supplemental activities such as a crossword puzzle that was already created for us or a children's book. They gave us a kind of a premise to go by. Susie's sick, and we actually had our students create their own children's books that explained the donation process at a very elementary level, and then we were able to donate those books to local libraries. So that was a really neat opportunity, I think, for all of our students. We also in the past have worked with the National Kidney Foundation as well as Donate Life Illinois, where they have provided speakers for us. So typically we'll spend, a day discussing, the general information. Then we'll have a speaker come in and present more information, the current stats regarding organ and tissue donation and the number of individuals that are on the waiting list, et cetera. And our goal has been to really take this information and not just plop it anywhere in our curriculum, but embed it into the curriculum so it flows naturally. And this actually in biology can occur in numerous different topics or subject areas. So we can incorporate it during stem cell study. We can incorporate it in biotechnology units, or even when we're studying the various body systems. So most of our students are not really that knowledgeable coming into school about organ and tissue donation. I think there's a lot of myths, misconceptions out there. And so our goal is to kind of clarify, the actual facts behind organ and tissue donation. And this allows us to disseminate this information to every freshman in our school so that when they're getting their driver's license in the next year or two, they're able to make that decision whether or not they want to be an organ and tissue donor. One of our very, I think, most important objective, it's quite simple, is after gaining the knowledge, the information regarding organ and tissue donation, we want them to go home and have a conversation. Have a conversation with their family, letting them know what their wishes are. You know, nobody wants to have this discussion. Nobody wants to talk about possibly losing a loved one. Can't imagine anything more excruciating and painful to go through. But having that conversation so that the family is aware of what their wishes are, whether they do want to be an organ and tissue donor or they don't, you know, is going to, if a horrible circumstance occurs, allow them to make that decision a little bit easier and hopefully provide some comfort knowing that they have followed, you know, the wishes of their loved ones. So that is our ultimate goal. Now, the curriculum has kind of, I would say, kind of remained stagnant over the years until one of our own teachers, math teachers, he actually was a cornea recipient. And so he received corneal tissue for both eyes. And since he's retired from teaching, this is what he does now. He goes out and presents information regarding organ and tissue donation and transplantation because it is so necessary and such an important topic that people don't know very much about. So since he's retired now for probably the last 10 years or so, he comes and speaks to our students every single year. Along with him, we typically have another speaker who has either been a tissue or donor recipient or have had a child at high school age who has passed away, and they chose to donate their child's organs or tissues. We've had an individual speak who was a kidney donor. So she was actually part of a kidney donation chain. And just having a variety of experiences that we're able to share with the students really makes that connection. It has a profound effect on all of our students. And you can just see that moment in their face when they're just like, whoa, that could be me, or that could be my family. And it's that aha moment, like, this is something that is really important. This is a conversation that we definitely need to have, you know, at home with our families. So that's pretty much been, you know, why we have incorporated, because it is so important and there are so many people in need. And it's not something that was typically taught in traditional curriculum.
No, what you guys are doing at Hersey is definitely very, very unique and certainly a model for other high schools to follow as well. Like you said, it's such an important topic to talk about, which is where I guess you kind of come in with your role on the curriculum development team for the Teach Life program. How do you see this as being possibly the future of organ and tissue donation and transplantation education, particularly in Illinois?
Well, because I feel the information that we were giving was pretty stagnant until we had our our retired teacher coming in and speaking with us. Obviously, individual stories, always were heart-wrenching and really spoke to the students. But now that there's this Teach Life toolkit where it has all the current information, everything is right there at fingertips to present the factual information. Current videos, the videos that we were showing many times were very outdated. So showing a current video that goes actually into a lot more detail as well, as far as not just the loss of an individual who is so loved and, organs or tissues being donated to others, but also the behind the scenes, the huge impact and the role that Gift of Hope plays, and everything that goes on even within the OR, the operating room, in preparing the organs and tissues. It's just so fascinating. And I think this is going to not only improve the curriculum because it is so current, but there's also a variety of supplemental materials that educators can choose from. So if they just want to spend one day, here's the main information, or here's a video, great. Or there are many other options, as they'll see on the website, that are more elaborate, that can really have students explore in great detail the different intricacies of organ donation and transplantation.
Absolutely. And that's a perfect lead into taking a quick look at the trailer for the Teach Life Toolkit program, which gives you a little taste of what the half-hour long documentary video that Kelly just referenced, some bits and pieces of that so you can kind of get a sense of what that looks like as well. So let's take a quick look at the trailer.
We'd give anything to have Maddie back.
It helps to know that she's still living out there in some way.
There's so much hope in being able to donate your loved one's organs and tissues that really helps you get through that grieving process.
Gift of Hope is the organization that procures organs for recipients for most of Illinois and Northwest Indiana. They were the ones that worked to get Maddie's organs placed.
We work with the hospital after the hospital tries endlessly to save the person's life. If that does not happen, then we get introduced to the family to offer them the opportunity for organ and tissue donation.
The donor blood comes in, the recipient's blood is also available. We take the blood of both, we react them together to see if there's a reaction. Now we have very good organ preservation solutions that allow us to assess organs. There are a lot of professionals involved in the process of organ transplant.
Tissue recovery techs, you have transportation people,
dietitians, we have the infectious disease doctors.
To the social workers and chaplains that help the donor family through their grief.
The surgeons, the operating room staff, the nurses and the techs. If you want to be involved in transplant, you can pretty much do almost anything.
I think anytime you talk about death, it turns into a little bit of an awkward conversation, but it's an important conversation to have.
I think it's one of the first binding important decisions that a 16-year-old is allowed to make about their own body.
You want other people to respect your decision. We're going to be able to make an impact on generations to come.
There's a lot of parents out there that maybe their kids want to be organ donors or tissue donors, and the parents don't know about it. In Maddie's case, since she had the conversation with her parents knew that that's what she wanted.
Why wouldn't we want to save these lives? It's just become very important to me, especially because it was important to her.
Why do you think it's so important that we tie this curriculum to state standards, and how easy are the learning objectives and the materials and the state standards and all of those connections being made? How does that help teachers implement this in their own classrooms?
As an educator, in my opinion, it's imperative for our curriculum to be connected to state standards so that there's clear and measurable goals for all the students in the state. Aligning the material to state standards helps teachers stay focused. It helps teachers incorporate topics consistently throughout the state, regardless of where that student is receiving their education, and also helps the students reach those higher level thinking skills because the curriculum is so well designed and appropriately implemented. So for instance, with my freshmen, we will cover we will go very basic into the general information, spending one day with the one-day module, the video, going over the factual information versus the myths, etc. However, in my upper classroom courses, such as human physiology or introduction to health careers, we will most likely be able to embed in an entire week. So really explore the intricacies of organ donation, tissue donation, looking at the different body systems, and spend a week studying the information. everything that is being laid out and presented in these modules is so user friendly that there is zero zero work effort really needed on the part of the teacher that's presenting the material. It literally is, you go to the website, click, download, and you are ready to present the information and utilize any of the supplemental materials, whether you want to spend 30 minutes on the topic or you want to spend 6 days, 7 days on the topic.
And easily you could spend a week on this topic without question, right?
Easily.
There's so many, it connects with science, it connects with socio-emotional learning, it just connects with so many different, it connects with health and talking about how people post-transplant have to care for themselves in unique ways. There's just so many aspects of this topic that can connect in so many ways to other things that the students are learning in very meaningful ways. And we're so thrilled that we're piloting the program this spring semester, even though it's been completely insane with the COVID and everything. We're still managing to get the pilot program done, and the full program, both the 1 day and the week-long set of modules and materials, will be available for all teachers in the state of Illinois to implement in their fall semesters. And we're really, really excited about that. So Kelly has been an integral part in developing this curriculum and bringing her years of teaching in her own classrooms about organ and tissue donation and transplantation. And so we were so thrilled to have you part of this team and to have you continue to be part of this team as we finish the final touches on the week-long curriculum for fall implementation. And we can't thank you enough for joining us today, Kelly. But one final thing, where can educators go to learn more and to access the curriculum if they want to implement this in their own classrooms, perhaps even this spring if they're interested?
Absolutely. So anybody who is interested in educating their students, whether, as you mentioned, it's in biology class, health class, could be a social science class, a psychology, it does not matter, because as you mentioned, it does hit on so many different aspects of our education, in our education period. So all you need to do is go to teachlifetoolkit.com and you will click on whatever module you are interested in. So there's a general 1-day module that will have all of the resources necessary to give the information to the students, as well as different activities that will allow the students to become even more engaged in the particular content. So I personally cannot wait to get started using it probably in the next week in my biology classes for sure.
Excellent. Thank you again for joining us today, Kelly. Thank you for all of your work on the Teach Life program, and looking forward to working with you over the summer.
In addition, the Teach Life program would like to thank these generous contributors as well. Thank you, Cindy. And thanks to all of you who have been watching these last few weeks during National Donate Life Month. For more information on the Teach Life curriculum, log on to teachlifetoolkit.com. We will be bringing new Discussing Donation episodes in the future on the Maddog Strong Foundation YouTube channel. So please follow along for notifications for new content. We hope to see you soon.